in a city that doesn't sleep. And find I'm the hill, top of the heap. These little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York.
Hi, my name is Isabella Rose-Barretto. Hi, my name is Isabella. My name is Isabella Rose-Barretto.
Wait, who are you again?
Holy shit, you guys. I'm in New York City. Guys, this is the first time I've been here. I have not traveled to New York before, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been here for almost an entire week, and this place is literally concrete jungle where dreams are fucking made of, okay? It is where dreams are made of. I think I found my new home. I know I was like proclaiming that LA was the place to be, but I love it here so much more, and it hasn't even been a full 7 days yet. I traveled here on Sunday, and I had so much anxiety in the morning. I don't know why I never get anxiety when I travel, but that morning I had so much anxiety. I was like very nervous and like having a bit of a panic attack before I got on the plane. And I was fully prepared. Like I had all my stuff ready to go, which I've gotten so much better at, by the way. I used to pack the night before, stay up all night, and then travel. Well, this time I actually did stay up all night, but I was like prepared. I was ready to go, but I didn't sleep. I fell asleep at like 7 o'clock, and I had to leave 7 o'clock in the morning. And I had to leave for the airport around like, I want to say 8:30 or 9 to catch my flight. And I just had so much anxiety. I don't know why. The flight was really good. I slept like a baby, but I was also waking up every few minutes. You know, when you're on a flight and you're like falling asleep and you didn't sleep, and then you're like, and you think that like you're falling off the cliff, or like the plane is falling down, or like you feel like anyways, I was doing the whole jumping thing. The guy beside me was like, what the fuck is up with this girl? It was such a tiny plane. So literally every time that I woke up and had one of those like moments, honestly, everybody on the plane could fucking hear it. Nevertheless, we made it here. Thank God. As soon as I got off the plane and I was walking through that little tunnel thing that you go through, what is it called? There's a specific word for it, but it's the thing that connects the plane to the building. And I was walking through it, and there was like these restaurants around in the airport, and I was like, holy fucking shit. There are so many people here. And immediately I was like, reality hit. I was like, yeah, this is the city where there are so many people you can't even walk on the fucking sidewalk. As I'm walking through this tunnel though, I see the restaurants, and I see like the bars, and people are drinking, getting ready to get on their flights and whatever. And I'm like this little tiny Canadian girl just like walking through like, oh my God, I'm in the Big Apple. And I hear Flo Rida, Wild Ones start playing, okay? And this song takes me back to my teenage years, you know, it takes me back to good old Veld. It takes me back to all the raves I used to go to. And I was just like, okay, this is a sign that this is going to be a fucking good trip. In lieu of me being here in New York for the very first time, technically, I thought it would be a good idea to tell you guys about the time that I actually came to New York for 18 hours. So I'm calling this the first time that I've actually been to this city, because I did drive into Manhattan once a few months ago. Actually, if you guys follow me on TikTok or Snapchat, you might remember. But I did come here once, but it was literally for, like, I stayed in the city for like 5 hours, and it took me obviously like 10 hours to get here because I live in Toronto, and the drive from Toronto to here is around like 9 or 10 hours. So it's a random night in, I think, October, and me being the person that I am, I'm always like hunting for like casting calls and like stuff that's going on. I do have an agent, but I'm always looking for extra work, you know, just like keeping my eye out and seeing like what opportunities hit. Also, it's really fun to just go to auditions just because, and like just to practice. So I'm like hunting. And I was following this account on Instagram for a really long time. And this account is a underwear brand. And, I followed them because I was like interested in their stuff, and I bought a couple of their pieces back in the summer when I went to LA. Get ready with me to drive 8 hours straight to New York for an open casting call. So the open call is for a clothing brand. I wasn't gonna say anything, but I'm just gonna tell you because I have nobody else to tell, and I'm really... It's for the brand Ifis, which is Noah Beck's clothing line, underwear line. So back in July, I purchased from the line. I just saw somebody on my Instagram feed wearing it, and I was like, oh my god, this is really cute, I want to buy. And then after doing my research when it came in, because I was like, I want to see where this is coming from, like who's making these, I found out that it was Noah Beck's line. I was like, okay. Ifis or Noah, if you're seeing this, just know I am coming for you. So I had them on my following list. They were popping up in my feed and whatever. But at this point, like I hadn't seen anything from them in so long. Like, you know, when you don't like stuff or like things don't come up on your feed in chronological order, so you don't really see anything. I hadn't been seeing anything from this account. This account story pops up on like my suggested stories. So I click it and it's a casting call. But it's a casting call in New York. And this was the day that I was supposed to go to an audition in Toronto. Hi, don't mind me. I'm just sitting here in my hotel room editing. And what I meant to say was that I turned down a job that I really regretted turning down. It wasn't that I missed an audition. That was a different time. The Ifis casting came up literally the day after I turned down a job that I really, really wanted. So the fact that this casting came up out of nowhere just felt like kind of right to me, and that's what I was trying to say in this clip. I didn't end up going. I can't remember why. I don't think it just didn't work out. So I didn't end up going. So I was like kind of down in the dumps about it. And then I see this casting call on my Instagram suggested, and I was like, holy shit, it's in New York. Like it's in Manhattan. Like that's not that far. Like, that's not that far from Toronto. Like, that's doable. So I call up my best friend at the time, and I'm like, do you want to go to New York tonight? And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, do you want to, like, go to New York tonight? There's a casting call tomorrow. It's in the morning. So, like, do you want to just, like, do an overnight drive and go to New York? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. I feel like at this point in my life, everybody that knows me well enough expects this kind of shit from me. Like, they expect me to call them up and be like, do you want to hop on a plane? Or do you want to hop on a train? Or do you want to go to this fucking city? Or do you want to go to Mexico tomorrow? Like, I feel like everyone just expects it because it has happened too many times for it to be not part of my personality at this point. She says yes. So I'm like going crazy. I'm like, okay, perfect. I'm like at work. If we want to make it there at a decent hour, like be awake, then like we got to leave soon. So I'm like trying to finish the stuff that I'm doing in my day quicker so that I can get home and pack a luggage. I get home, I pack my luggage. I pack like all my cute clothes for this casting call. I pack my camera. I pack my tripod. Like I got everything. We get a case of water. We get like some snacks. We jam it in my car and I'm like ready to go. My dad is like, what are you doing? And I still live at home. So yes, my parents like involved in my life and like know what's going on. Like he's like, what are you doing? Where are you going? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like I'm going to New York for a casting call. Like what's a big deal? And to me, something like this is not a big deal, but I can see now how to a parent or like an adult figure or whatever, it can be like, what's wrong with you? Like, how are you making these decisions just like off a whim like that? Like, first of all, it's dangerous. Second of all, you're going to drive overnight. Aren't you tired? You worked all day. Like, I understand. But in my head, the adrenaline's pumping. I'm ready to go. The artist in me is like, let's fucking do it. Take every opportunity that you can. So I'm like, there's nothing wrong. Like, why is this such a big deal? Like, I'm just driving like 10 hours to New York right now. Like, there's no problem. And we get into this huge argument. And I have never fought worse with a parent in my life. I was a little bit of a bratty teenager. Like I did have my fights now and then with my mom, but I had never had a fight this bad. And I feel like it's even worse now because I'm an adult. Like I'm like in my 20s and like saying things to your parents in your 20s, like you're aware of what you're saying. Like you're not 16 years old and like, I think I know everything and blah, blah, blah. Like no, in your 20s, you have some type of like knowledge and some type of like growth from being a teenager, that the fights that you have with your parents and the arguments that you have with your parents are a little bit more substantial than the fights that you would have with your parents when you were a teenager. Do you know what I'm saying? And this was the worst argument that I had gotten into with my dad ever in my life. Anyways, he was like, you're not going. And I was like, yes, I am. He grabbed my phone out of my hand. So we got into this huge argument about how it wasn't safe for me to go, but I was just rebuttaling and pushing and being like, no, I have to go. Like something in me said I had to. And you know what's so funny? I didn't even end up booking this job that I auditioned for, but something in me just said, Isabella, you have to do this. And when my gut says that, I don't ignore it for anything, especially not for work. Like I never ignore that feeling. So I'm like, you have to understand, like you have to let me go. And he just was not letting me go. So I said, fuck it. I called an Uber to my best friend's house and I said, I'm so sorry, we can't take my car. And I said, please, like, can we take your car? Can we go? And she was like, yeah, I guess, like, let's fucking do it. And I left my house that night, like without saying goodbye to my dad. And my assumption from the way that our conversation had ended was that my dad and I weren't going to talk and I wasn't going to be allowed back into my house. I know it sounds kind of ridiculous to have had an argument like that and have had it end that way before leaving over just an audition, but I'm very stubborn, I think. Like, I'm very open, but I think with work and decisions I make about myself within work are very stubborn. And once I have my mindset, like, that's it. Like, work is my number one priority, and it has been for, like, the last few years. And, like, a decision that I make about my job and a decision that I make about my artistic career is usually not going to change once my mind is set. So I get to her house, I'm, like, bawling my eyes out. I left my house by slamming the door and, like, throwing my luggage down the stairs. And I get to her house and she's like, what is going on? And I was like, I'll explain to you on the way. Please, let's take your car. Let's just fucking go. Like, I can't be here anymore. Thank God I'm leaving anyways. Like, Toronto sucks. Like, I want to get out of here. I need to book this job now. I never want to go home. Like, I was looking at everything in the worst possible light, which one does usually when you get into an argument with somebody. But I just was like so out of it. And she was just so good about it. And she was like, let's go. Like, let's go. And we started driving. And there we were on our way to New York at like 10 p.m. at night, when I had an audition at 7 a.m. We pretty much drove all night, and obviously we didn't stop. Maybe we stopped like 2 or 3 times to pee, but we took turns driving so that it would be easier for both of us. So I did like 5 hours and then she did like 5 hours. So we started driving and, you know, we're making our way down. And honestly, guys, it was one of the best, like small, quick, like spontaneous little trips that I've ever taken. Me and this friend have done this like a bunch of times. We drove to Nebraska together back in September last year, like off a whim, just to go see Post Malone. And it was my like suggestion, and she was just like so good about it. And she was like, let's go. So I'm always like dragging my friends into these situations and going on these random crazy trips and just like dipping from Toronto. And they're always like so good about it. We took turns and we drove all night, and then we ended up making it to Manhattan by like 6 o'clock, maybe. But by like 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And like at this point, like we're disgusting. Like it's been 10 hours. We haven't brushed our teeth. We're fucking tired. We haven't eaten anything. Like we didn't stop to eat. All we were like snacking on was like goldfish and like water bottles in the back seat, like maybe a couple of Red Bulls, an energy drink. She took one of those 5-hour energies and she was like off the walls. Like it was crazy. So we pull into New York at like 5. I've never been here before, and we're going through like the Lincoln Tunnel. And I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. We get to like the street that the audition's on, and we're like looking for parking. Guys, there's no parking in this fucking city. Now that I'm here and I've walked around different parts of the city, I'm like, okay, I can see how some people own cars. But when we were in Manhattan and we drove in with her car, I was like, where the fuck are we going to park? Like, where is it going to be possible to park? So we're driving and we can't find anything. And at this point, like we both have to pee so bad. There's no like 7-Eleven that you can park at and go inside and pee. So we found this like little boutique hotel, and we were like, okay, please, like praying that the manager was like nice enough to let us go in, pee, and like brush our teeth. And he was so fucking nice. He let us in, and he's like, yeah, we like gave him the rundown. We told him we've been driving for like 10 hours, so tired, so disgusting, like so hungry. And he's like, yeah, go use the washroom. Like they're downstairs. So we're in this like tiny ass hotel. I'm going down this like curvy flight of stairs. And finally I get to the washroom. We're both like, we had to take turns. She stayed in the car. I went to the washroom, and then we switched. And then after we found this like little nook right in front of the audition building, and we parked the car there, and we were able to like get ready, and we got ready fully in the parking lot with the case of water that we brought. Guys, I'm not even kidding. I brushed my teeth with a bottle of water and a toothbrush in the middle of a parking lot in New York. So we're brushing our teeth, we're getting ready. I'm like washing my face. She's pouring the water bottle for me, holding it so that I can like splash the water on my face and like wash it properly. And she's like, Izzy, I have to pee. I'm like, okay, well, we just went pee. Like, what are we gonna do? And she's like, no, like I have to pee. So we see that there's a porta potty in the corner of this like tiny, like little gross parking lot. So we're like, okay, let's like go over there. Like it might be disgusting, but like we have hand sanitizer, we have wipes. Like let's just figure it out. So we walk over, we open the door, and we see this fully naked man slouched over, full of like dirt. Guys, I'm not even shitting you. Full of like dirt. Hair is like askew. He's slouched over and like he's like mumbling some really weird shit. And I'm not even joking. 2 Canadian girls from Toronto belted at the top of their lungs, like high-pitched scream. Like, I'm not even kidding. Jenna Ortega scream in Scream type of scream, and ran. And I don't even know where the fuck we thought we were running to because we ran past the car. Like, we bolted. And I've been here now for almost a week and I still haven't seen anything like that. So tell me how the first time that I'm in New York for 7 hours, I see this like frightening man in the porta potty just slouched over with no clothes on. Anyway, we ended up like walking back to the car and finishing getting ready. We were like, oh my God, are we going to get kidnapped? Is he going to like try and kill us? It's fine. Let's just get the makeup done so that we can go to this audition. So we get ready and then I get in line for the audition super early because I figure that there's going to be a huge ass line. And there was, so I stood in line in my pumps, guys, my little heel mules, pointed toe, so not comfortable, for like 5 hours before I got let in. And it's so funny because I was at the front of the line. There was 2 girls in front of me. I went inside for the audition and it was so much fun. Like it was such a chill, cool, fun audition. All the people that were working on the panel were great. And while I was in line, I actually met some really amazing people. And one of my really good friends, who's also an actor, that lives close to New York. I met him in line and now we're like still friends to this day. It was just like such a good experience. So that was my first experience being in New York. Technically, I didn't get to see anything, but that was the first time I actually ever entered this city. And now I get to experience it in its full form. And I will be here for quite some time because I am taking some acting classes here. And I freaking love it. Moral of this story is don't open porta potty doors in the middle of Manhattan. No, I'm just kidding. Moral of the story is if you have a feeling that you have to do something, just fucking do it. Like, honestly, it's not even that deep. Just actually follow your gut and do it. You never know what could happen. Like, you never know, like, where the relationships that I made from being in line that one day could go. I remember one of my other friends told me one of the first times that he was in New York coming to do a model casting call, he met a girl in line and they're like this now. He comes here to see her all the time and, like, they're really good friends. So you never know who you're gonna meet. You never know what jobs you're gonna get. Just always, like, take the risk, especially if you're working in this industry. And I always like to tie in work and like artistic careers into like my stories and like my life experiences because it all makes such a difference when you look at it from a bigger perspective, because everybody you meet, everybody that you bump into in anything, you never know where that relationship can go. And particularly in this industry, like there are so many opportunities. Like this industry is big. There is space for everyone. There are so many opportunities. You never know what could end up happening with that one decision you make to go to that one audition that's across the fucking country. Take the risk. I promise you, most of the time, only good things will come from it. Most of the time. I'm not going to say 100% of the time. This is not foolproof. But in my experience, it's been most of the time. Being here for the past week, I have been so inspired. I'm here taking an acting class at the Barrow Group for anybody interested in acting or anyone interested in where I'm taking classes, because I've been posting about this on my socials every single day. I am loving it. There is nothing else to say other than I am absolutely loving my time here. I've never experienced such a different approach to acting and drama and theater as a whole in my life. The only training I've ever done has been in Ontario, in Toronto, and I find that a lot of the methods across the city and a lot of the places you take classes are very similar. Like it's really hard to find something different. And the reason I decided to come out here was because for the last few months I've been feeling really artistically frustrated and very like creatively frustrated. I find myself really wanting to do a lot more as an artist, and I don't know what that means. I don't even know what to do about it. Like, there are so many monologues I can learn on my own. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, there's always something to learn. There's always something to explore. There's always something to create, something to make. And I made a TikTok about this, talking a little bit about what I do when I'm not working or when I'm not on a job. And I love making videos like this, and I love making podcasts and sitting down and talking to a camera and making TikToks and writing in my journal and things like that. But sometimes you just crave like other artistic energies or other creative energies. And I had been missing that for a long time. And, you know, I've been doing commercials a lot all year, and I am so grateful. I love working on commercial sets. I love working on sets in general, but I'm kind of like also looking for a place to put like an emotional side of myself on things, or like really like dive into a character and explore what that character could be like. So taking a 2-week intensive seemed like the best decision for me, and it has been. Like, I am so glad that I'm here. I have met so many wonderful creative souls. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, guys. It sounds very cheesy, but I'm not even kidding. Like, to be in a room full of people that understand the world and look at art the same way that you do is truly one of the most incredible feelings ever. Like, forget what comes with booking a movie. Forget booking the movie in general. Being in front of a class or being in front of a group of people that are so invested in your performance and so invested in the way you're going to bring your own emotional side to things and the way that you're going to deliver things, like, it is so special. And that is the best part of being an actor. That is the best part of being a performer. It's being surrounded by all these people and their energy, and like people that understand, and then people that understand you and have, and like I'm sure artists, if you're watching this, you know what it means to connect with somebody else that knows what you know about art and about performance. Like, it's so beautiful, and I've just been so full. Like, I've been feeling so fulfilled all week. My coaches are amazing. We did some monologues the other day, and the feedback that I received was different from what I've received in the past, and it has helped me grow so much. Like, I am already in 5 days seeing acting and seeing performance in a completely different light. For the last 3 days, we've been working on these scenes. I am doing a scene from a play, which I have never done before. I have worked on theater work, but I have never sat down and studied a play. And I can proudly say I really like it. And I think after this, I will definitely be getting into plays more. Like, I found myself reading the entire thing, buying another one, reading the entire thing. There's this drama store here that is right around the corner from where I'm taking class, and it's called the Drama Bookstore in New York. And it was just the most tantalizing, beautiful little store with like all these creative minds in there. Like, I'm not even kidding, guys. You just walk in and you feel the creative energy. It's like, it's something I've never experienced before. Maybe I've experienced it in like a minimal form. I don't know. Maybe this is also me just being a dreamer and like coming to New York and being like, oh my God, like, this is where dreams are made of. This is where I'm going to make it. This is where I'm going to like meet all these amazing people. Maybe it's that, but I don't think so. I think I truly am currently surrounded by these beautiful minds, and I'm so grateful. I actually did get lost on the subway 3 times. One time I went up so far. I'm staying in Long Island City currently because I'm staying with Dylan. I'm sure you guys have heard about Dylan. He's all over my social media. He's my partner from Bridgerton and now my best friend, and he's actually living in New York right now. So this is crazy how this all worked out. But he currently lives in Long Island City, and I got lost coming from Manhattan back here, and I went all the way to like Jamaica, New York, which I was like, where am I right now? Which apparently is like really far out, but I didn't know that because I got on the wrong train. It's actually really easy to get the subway here, but it's also actually very confusing. But I think by the end of this week, tomorrow, Friday, I will have figured it out fully. I thought I figured it out fully today. I was actually on the phone with my mom, and I was like, oh my God, Mom, it's only like day 3, and I know exactly how to take the subway. I'm so smart. This is so easy, so much better than Toronto. I get on, and I'm like going the wrong way again. And I was like, shit, I jinxed myself. I almost had it. But I promise by the end of the week, tomorrow, I will get it. It's actually not that difficult, but it's a little bit confusing. But their subway system is way better than the TTC, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that for free. It's up to you. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. Wait, that was kind of good. New York. Woo! Oh fuck. I was about to sing those summertime blues are melting away. But then I realized that that's actually from the Santa Claus 3, where Jack Frost becomes Santa. If you don't know it, then we can't be friends. I'm mainly vlogging right now because, I called it a vlogcast for a reason. I'm watching a lot of Rachel Zegler vlogs while I'm in New York. I'm feeling very in my element and feeling very actor and feeling very inspired. And you know what? I don't know how much of a fan I was at the beginning because of all the stuff that was going on in the media, but at this point in time, I'm currently very intrigued and very inspired by that woman. I just wanted to tell you guys about that. I don't know why. I just wanted to share that. Of course, I want to put things in of what I'm doing in correlation to what I'm talking about on the mic, but I also just kind of want to vlog actually what I do. Right now, I'm actually learning some sides for an audition. And, well, it's a mock audition. You got me. You caught me. I went to Target. Sorry. Can we just take a peek at something for a second? Can we just take a look at my Target receipt? I'm sorry. Why did I spend 70 US dollars? Okay, that's what? 105 Canadian? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not doing the actual conversion. I'm not good at math. 70 US dollars on detergent, acne spray for my fucking back. Okay, this was stupid. We'll talk about that in a second. Vitamin C serum for my face because I have awful pigmentation and pick my pimples and scars. And this moisture repair cream. I'm using Proactive right now and it's really drying, but I needed something more moisturizing. I like this brand a lot. They never make my skin break out. That it never hurts and my skin is very sensitive. And it's flat so I can pack it when I go home. Okay guys, this is a teeth whitening pen. So dangerous. I already have sensitive teeth to begin with. I should just get my teeth whitened professionally. But I started using those Crest white strips a few months ago. Really ruined my teeth. I'm not gonna lie to you. I made them whiter, yes, but they were so sensitive I couldn't even drink water. Ooh, that is slick. That is slick. I don't know how safe this is. I cannot believe they sell this in stores here. Oh, am I a beauty guru? I have never seen this in my life in Canada. I also just started contacting immigration lawyers, which is crazy because I don't know why I've been putting this off for so long. I really don't know why, but it's time to get my fucking visa. It's time. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's probably because you are American and you're the luckiest person in the world and you don't have to get a visa to work in America because you were born here. But I'm not American. But I want to work in the American film industry. So in order to do that, I need lots of documents. So I'm starting the process. Finally. I don't know why it's taking me so long. I should have started this process when I was still in school. I should have started this process when I received a job offer in 2020. It's kind of just been not a waiting game, but just well, maybe, I guess, me just thinking I'm gonna meet the right people or audition for the right thing and they're gonna help me get my papers. And for so long I thought this industry was about meet the right person and book the right job and then your career takes off from there. And sometimes it can be like that, but honestly, not all the time. You gotta put in the work, which I do, but I put in the work artistically. I put in the work to train and to get better at the craft itself. But then do I put in the work on the business side? No. And why wouldn't I do that? This industry is a fucking business. Me, myself, I am a business. I heard this really, really good comparison to what it's like being an artist or being an actor. I forgot who said this to me. They said that you are your business and you are the CEO, you are the owner, you are everything. You are also the product, you are all of it. And it made so much sense to me because as an artist, you have to constantly, every day, Go on your computer. Even if you have an agent, you should be doing this. Go on your computer. Look at who's casting. Look at what's going on. Read up about the newest movies. Read up about the newest directors. Read up about old directors. Read up about movie news. Go over sides. Do monologues. Take class. Like, there's so much admin and so much work. And if you're not doing it for yourself, like, it's just not going to work out for you, babe. And this is mainly me talking to me. I have realized this for myself recently. Here we are, back on the professional camera. Honestly, guys, I was so naive to think that I would have time to, like, sit down and record one podcast per day. Like, I really came here with a full calendar and a full plan and list of things that I wanted to talk about every single day and things that I wanted to vlog every single day. No, I was so naive to think that. I literally signed up for an acting intensive. I don't know why I thought that it was going to be so easy for me to just go on ahead and have free time and, like, do whatever I wanted and, like, record videos. Like, that's just totally not the case here. I am currently taking a break, okay? I have been home since 7. It is now 9:15, and I'm taking a break from these sides that are haunting me. I don't know why. I'm doing a mock audition for a class, and these need to be memorized and I want to say perfected. But these are supposed to be in my brain and ready to go for, like, playing around with and, like, testing on camera tomorrow. And these are some of the more simple sides that I've dealt with in my career. And for some reason, I just can't get it down. Well, maybe I don't want to say it's simple. I'll actually tell you what it's about. It's from a show called Enough is Enough, which I've never watched. But I did look up the scene, and looks pretty intense. I'm not very good at playing intense. The whole premise of the program that I'm taking right now is kind of like learning how not to play and learning how to use yourself as a tool, and, like, how you can be Isabella while reading Sarah's lines, if that makes sense. And I am having a lot of trouble doing that. I don't get angry very often, and in this scene I have to get angry. And it's just been really hard for me to kind of, like, grasp that and think about what I want to do with that. But since I'm sitting here and I am taking just a little study break, I wanted to talk to you guys in depth about how the first week went. So we're going to do, like, a little recap. So let's start with day 1. So I did an outfit video a day, and I wanted to continue doing it here, but this room is just not cute for the outfit videos. Like, it is not giving, and I honestly tried to record one this morning. There is no sunlight. I am, like, blocked in by buildings. I'm on, like, a street where, like, there's buildings surrounding everything, which is very New York, but there is no light here. There is no sunlight in the morning. It is pitch black. This morning I woke up thinking that it was still the nighttime. It is also winter, which means that it is still dark in the morning when I wake up. I am encased, and I am not capable of getting outfit videos in. Day 1 was really cool. It was like a little introduction class. We did a lot of, like, drama and theater games, which I really loved. I never went to drama school, or I never went to school for acting. Like, I studied theater and performance in school when I went to university for dance, and when I was doing dance in high school. I also went to an arts program in high school, so I did study performance then, but it was never acting performance, and it is so much different. And I've probably said that a whole bunch of times, but it's so much. Actually, I don't even think I've made the comparison yet. It is so much different than dance. Like, the reason I got into acting is because I was so in love with dance performance, and I think for so many years, I really just liked the fact that I could be someone else on stage, or that I could tell a story on stage. And with dance, you're telling a story without words. So when I started to learn how to do that with words, and started to learn how to read lines, and started to learn how to, like, create text, it became even more of, like, a deeper love and a deeper passion. Now it's, like, my number one passion. Like, I love it. I love it. This is the first time I'm ever saying this out loud, but I think I love it more than I love dance, which is really crazy because dance has been my native skill and my, just the thing that I do, my identity for so many years. We always get off topic, but Day 1 was really good. Theater games, introduction, drama, met everybody in my class. Day 1, I also found my partner who is now a really good friend. I think it's only been a couple weeks, but like we have been hanging out for the last 2 weeks together and like training together and learning lines together, and it has been so much fun. So found my partner on day 1. Day 2 went straight into table reads. He and I did a table read together. We set up our scene, we did sets, and then we did the same thing in the afternoon. Day 3 was kind of the same thing with scenes, but we had a film class, so we were also doing monologues on day 3. We had to come in with a prepared monologue. And the thing I really like about this program is that a lot of the material you're sourcing for yourself and for your partner, you're doing that on your own. The teacher's not really giving it to you, which is nice because I've never experienced that before. So I had the opportunity to like go to the drama bookstore or like go online and like look for plays and like look for different scenes and like really research what we think or what I think would be good for me or for us. And that has been a really good experience because I haven't done that before. I know not all of you are actors, so I don't want to just like throw all this shit out there and like bore everybody. So that's why I try and keep this as like experiential as possible. Is that a word? I don't know if that's a word, but try and like keep you in the loop about what's going on in my actual life versus what's only going on in my acting career and acting life. Day 4, we did film and television scenes. We performed those in front of a camera, and we also talked about the monologues that we performed on camera that we chose for ourselves. And then on the very last day, we had more monologues, but this time they were theater monologues with a different coach in a different class, and then picking new scenes that we were doing this week. Pretty much by the end of the 2 weeks, I will have memorized and done 5 scenes and 3 different monologues, which is a lot. That is a lot in 2 weeks. But something that I learned is, surprisingly, my brain is able to handle it. Now that I've been doing it, I know that I'm capable. And maybe I'm going into like fight or flight mode and I'm not even capable. I'm just doing it because I have to and I don't want to embarrass myself in front of the class. But like, I'm doing it. So however I'm doing it, it's getting done. And also, in between all these scenes and like performing and putting sets together and like cold reading and table reading and all that, we're getting notes and specific methods about how to go about our scenes and how to audition and ways to break down our side. Also, yes, I'm in a new location. I actually got my own place for the next 2 weeks that I'm going to be here. I left Dylan alone. I let him have his own space. Now I'm here in my own space, which is nice because, you know, walking around talking to yourself looking like a maniac in someone else's building can get a little bit scary, but now I get to do that in the comfort of my lonesome. Keep you guys updated on what else goes down. I'll try and vlog a little bit more outside in the city and doing things, but like really I haven't been doing much other than learning my lines and learning how to be a good actor. Thank you guys so much for being here and for listening to me talk today. I can't wait until I get to come on here one day and tell you guys that I booked a television role or that I booked a movie. I can't fucking wait. So I'm going to keep doing this. If you're going to keep being here, I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you so much. And wish me luck with this mock audition. Thanks, guys. What was my point? What was my point? Oh,